In this video today, we're going to create a quiz or an exam using Google Forms. It is easy and free to use. There are different ways to start creating your quiz form. You can either start from a Google Drive homepage, like this one. You have here this button that allows to create new content. When you click on this, you will find shortcuts for creating new docs, new Google Docs, new sheets, new slides, and also new Google Form. If we click on this, this will drop us into a blank new Google Form. We can also open a new Google Chrome page. So let's try to access this form through a new Google Chrome page. You need to be signed in, as I am. You have here Google Apps on the right corner. Click and look for Forms. Here we are, Forms. You will be directed to the same blank new Google form. Here we can see that we have existing templates that we can use and modify, or click on this plus sign to create a new one from scratch. But first, I just noticed that my form are in French. So if your exam is in English, you want the instructions inside your exam to be in English as well. Let's fix that first. Click here on settings and change the language from French to whatever the language that you want. In our case, it's English. Then let's choose English USA. Done. And we have to call again Forms through the Google Apps. Now you can see that it is in English, blank contact. So as I said, we have templates that we can use, but I prefer to create a new one from scratch. The first thing to do is giving a name to or a title to your form. Let's say exam S2 for semester 2, and you click here, you will get the same title as well, and you can write whatever the description that you would like your student to see about this exam. For example, let's add a date. You can give instructions about the exam. You can specify what is the specialty for this student at the university. It's up to you. Let's add some questions. So first thing that we need, we need student information. So the first name, student first. Oh, I'm not writing. And we need for that a short answer. So you have different options here, but for names and information about the student, the answer should be a short answer. And you can click on required. So it is required that students enter their names. So let's click on this plus icon for to add a new question. So we need student name, we need student last name, short answer as well and required, another one for student ID, and you see it is changing automatically to short answer required. Let's add, let's say, section or group, and let's choose line scale from 1 to 4, for example. And this is a required one. So section 1, 2, 3, 4, they will have to choose one option. So let's create now a section. Usually in these online exams, we have a lot of questions, 30 or 40. It's better to organize them into sections, into different sections, so students won't have to answer all the questions at once. They will be showing questions section by section, let's say by a set of 3 or 4 questions at once. You can go back to the question and choose a different type of answers. Let's say drop down, and option 1 is 1, option 2 is 2, option 3 is 3, and 4, like that. You see? Now this is we need to make this form as a quiz. So go to settings and enable this to make it a quiz, which means it will assign points or values to each question, not for the short answer ones, the first ones. Starting from here, we have this section 2. You can give it a title. For example, let's say that this section will be about verb tenses questions, and let's add questions. We have, let's choose a multiple choice where students have to choose a correct form for the verb tense. For example, he, and let's make a blank, soccer every day. And he has to choose the correct form for the verb play. Option number 1, let's say play. Option number 2, plays, played, and has played. And let's assign a mark. So he plays, to show that plays is the correct answer, and I give 1 point or more. Usually the marks are over 100, so you can assign 5 points to each question, or it's up to the teacher. I usually choose one, and in, for example, 40 questions, they will be. I will divide by two to get the marks or the grade over 20. Let's put done. Of course, this won't be shown to the student, but it will use this mark to give you the final grade for the students. Sorry. Let's add another question. One more question. In the same section, so it's always about tenses. Yesterday, I blank dinner. Let's say the verb cook, enjoy, cooked, cooks, cooking, and answer. Give the correct answer. Let's see. To view your form, you have this icon here, which is an eye. You can use it to preview your form. This is what student gonna see. So we have here the description. You have the student name, first name, last name, ID, and section. Look at the section. He has to choose one section, and student cannot go to the next one since these spaces, these options are required. So I have to answer something. Let's do anything just to see what the section number 2 will looks like. So this is section number 2. He has to choose an option. You see, it doesn't give anything, any indication that the answer is correct or wrong. Then submit. So I won't submit it. I will clear it and continue editing this form. No thanks. So let's add another one and see another option. Not here. Of course, they have this tool that I found really fun. So you can move any section that you want just by clicking and scrolling it down. So you see student ID section, and you have here another question. Let's say English is easy. Is that true or false? True or false? Let's answer it. It is easy and very fun to learn. So now we can add another section. So you see, it is organized in sections. You see here that after this section, you can direct the student according to their answers to the next section or to different sections according to their answer. This option is used usually in surveys, so let's keep it like that. Once the student finishes the the first section, he goes straight to section number 2. After section number 2, he go to the next one, and so on. Let's say section number 3, it's about listening or writing. You can add a question. You can include to your question. You can import more questions from another form. You can add a title and a description if you need more space. You can add an image. You can add a video. You can add an audio also. So for the option for the video, you can just copy paste the address for a YouTube video, and the student will be able to watch the video before answering. Can be used in listening questions or something like that. You can all add an image. So let's say we will be adding just a simple question about technology. Again, it's just an example. So the most important thing I want just to show you what the forms and a quiz form will looks like. Technology is, let's say, internet. The best technology nowadays. If you make spelling mistakes, it will give you nowadays. Nowadays. So the options are is, let's say, will be, was, and the correct answer, of course, it's is. And let's say we finish with this form. You can view it. Again, we already did that. You can go back. What I want now is to see to check the settings. We already set this form to be a quiz. So you can release grades immediately after submission. I usually do that in when we have a small test or just a question or a quiz about a lecture. But if it is an exam, I prefer, maybe you want to add a quiz test to this mark. So you click on later after manual review. For missed questions, respondent can see which question were answered incorrectly. So don't forget that this is an online exam. So they may be two students or more students sitting together. So I don't want to show them what is the correct answer for the exam. So keep this. They cannot see. Point value, can see the total point value received for each question. No. Default question value, this is 1, or you can modify it here and make it 5, for example. Responses, manage responses, collect email addresses, required to release grade manually. So you can require to collect email addresses, send responders a copy of the response. So you need for that, you can do always send a copy, or you can and check it and send a correction for this quiz later. Allow response editing. No, I prefer not to. So once the student submit or answer the question and go to the next one, he cannot change it. Limit to one response. Yes, you don't want the student filling up or answering all the questions, submitting the quiz, then he can use the same email address and modify the answers. So if you limit the answer to one, the same student cannot enter with the, unless he change his email address. Presentation. What we have in presentation, we manage how the form and the responses are presented. Show progress bar. Yes, I prefer to show the progress bar so the student will have an idea of what is the portion of the quiz that he finishes, or he still have ahead. Shuffle question order, a random order. This is good for example, if we have two or more few students answering at the same time, sitting together, they won't have the same question order. So they will have different orders in question. So I prefer to enable this one. Confirmation message. You can put, for example, your response has been recorded, or thank you for your answers. Your responses have been submitted. This is the message that the student will receive after submission of his answers. Show link to submit another answer. No, it is disabled. You see, it's limited to one response. View results summary. No. Disable autosave. Yes. Default apply to this form. Okay, so enough for the setting. Now the responses. You see, you have this button. You can enable and disable it. So once it is time for the exam, you open it, you allow receiving responses. Once the quiz time is finished, you close it from here, and you will see this link to sheets. Once you receive answers, you will get them in a sheet, like an Excel sheet, and you can manage your grades with the names. You can reorder them. Now we finished. So you see this button. This is before that we have this one that I like also, them. Let's go back to question. You can customize your form by adding something to it, by adding an image, by adding, you can choose according to your subject, depending on your subject. I prefer to upload one. Let's browse it and upload one from my computer. This one. Since my exams are about learning English, so you can do that. Then you will see it will be added as an image to your form, and the background also, the color of used for the background will change, and you can also change it here. I prefer this one, yeah, like that, to make it uh, more cute to the student eye. So let's go here to the button send. You will see you can send it via email. You can, what we're gonna use, it's getting a link and use the shortened one. You can copy this link. You see it is copied. Then you can post it in the university platform, or you can send it via email. You can share it where it should be. So let's say it is copied. Let's paste it here and see. You see, this is what will appear to the student. And since my exam is not, it doesn't accept yet responses from students, this is what I'm gonna see. This form is no longer accepting responses. So you can send the link even a month before the date of the exam, but the student won't be able to access the question, to see the question before you open it. Once I go to my form as a teacher, go to the form and allow them, you will see, let me update this page. When I update the page, you will see that the student or the person who has, any person having the link for this form will access and can answer the questions. I go back and deactivate that, so I'm not accepting, the form is not accepting responses or answers anymore. If you update it, it will be closed. So I think that I covered everything for the creating quizzes or exams using Google Forms. Once you have the first form, the first exam, you can always create a copy. You can create a new one. Let me just show you that. This is a tip that I use. So you will, I forgot to mention that forms are saved automatically to your drive, and you will find them. Whatever the modifications, you can edit it many times, it will be saved automatically. And I usually use the same form to create other forms. Go here to this on the right, on top right, these three dots. You can you see, make a copy. I give it another name. For example, I can use this exam to create my final exam, which is another exam. Give it a new name, make a copy. And you will have the same setting, the same image, the same colors that I used. with the same questions, and you can modify or edit, change the questions. And don't worry, it is another. It's a copy. It's not the same form. So let's do that to see if it is there. You see, this is final exam. This is exam S2. It, it is saved automatically. Let me know if you find it easy to understand in the comment box. And thank you for watching.